Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got a roll call.
Jerry Stickler. Present. Delaney.
Present.
Fred Chittum.
Present.
Susan Snyder.
Present.
Steve Carter.
I make a motion to approve the January 12th meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See, we have a public hearing rezone request. A public hearing to receive citizens' comments on proposed rezoning of 0.81 acre property located at 1201 Beechwood Drive, Sunrise Beach, parcel number 02-7.0-35.000, blah, blah, blah.
We can read it.
Jeff Gephardt, applicant is requesting rezoning from agriculture to R1.
Jeff, I have a question. Is that the real address now?
Yes,
Okay. Because I know you didn't you have to go to Camden County to tell them to give you an address or something?
it is.
Okay.
Any comments on that?
Staff.
So this zoning request, the subdivision was created last year when Steve Roth was here. The property retained the zoning of agricultural, which is what the main property owned by Mr. Thomas is zoned. They kept that zoning since the new owner never requested a change of it. As it sits, the property is non-compliant with our zoning regulations due to agricultural having to be a much larger property size. So Mr. Gephardt would like to build a single-family residential home out there, my understanding.
Mhm.
And to be able to do so, he needs to have an R1 zoning. Neighboring properties are very R1 and everything would be conducive with what the surrounding area is. There's no reason that I see that we would be concerned with zoning that as an R1.
We didn't have any, did you send it out to all neighbors? No problems.
I think this one had to be it had to go to the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
I've not heard any complaints or questions regarding the rezone.
Is there any citizen comments about this?
Figured brother.
Quickly, I'm Jeff Gephardt. I haven't met you. I think I've as opposed to Bob Thomas who's famous, I'm kind of infamous. So I've owned a home in Sunrise Beach for at least the last 20 years. I usually buy flip houses and redo them, turn them into VRBOs and then take them to market at some point. But I live in the county and I lived in the city and then I lived in the county and I decided I'm going to build something down there when an opportunity came up on Beechwood. And I've only recently acquired it, but I've been working on it for about 1.5 years. And in that time, I've had an opportunity to meet some neighbors. They stopped by, I didn't realize they were on the board, but they stopped by and they're curious about what's going on with it. And I tell them this is kind of my intentions on it. This is what we do. And they get a chuckle out of the alien acres because we have aliens up there if you guys haven't driven by. It's kind of fun, but that's only part of the neighbors. The other neighbors, like I never got the opportunity to meet. And it seemed like when I started moving dirt down there doing other things, the phones started ringing up here and people started asking questions. And I've never spoke publicly about this, so I didn't know how information got out, but I looked at an old board meeting last year. And there's a big neighborhood issue. I don't know what it was, but a lot of neighbors were here and we were getting ready to adjourn. And the guy from the back, he says, well, what's happening with that RV park down on Beechwood? And I didn't realize we had 2 RV parks in Beechwood, but he was asking about my property. And they said alien acres. And the chairperson answered, oh, that guy on a smaller piece of property, he wanted to put a bunch of RVs there, but we told him no. And so he said he was going to partner with the neighbor about doing RVs on his property. And that was reported in a public forum to a bunch of my neighbors. And so I could understand why the phone starts ringing. And understand why people don't like what's going on up there, because we already have 2 RV parks. And this one got reported by the board that I was interested in an RV park, and they said no. No, I've never wanted to do an RV park, or I've never talked to the neighbor about partnering to do RVs. So I don't know where that information came from. My intention is the same as it always been, is to build a single family residence.
Okay,
And some people call it a barndominium or a house or metal or whatever, but it's a single family residence. I'm going to store my RV there, yes, but that's my intention. So I wanted to make that clear.
all right.
I'm
Any-
sure we can look back on the minutes from that, but I think when you came in and requested the property for Alien Acres, what we were told at the time by the city manager was that you wanted to have 5 or 6 RVs in an area there.
I never
That's
said that. That was
That's
never
where
my
that came
intention.
from. So, I mean, that's,
But it got reported to the neighborhood as that. And you can understand why the neighbor's like, I wouldn't want 5 or 6 RVs there either.
well, it's probably in the minutes somewhere. I mean, I remember that because I was here. So it was when you named it Alien Acres or whatever.
That's, Steve said that?
It's in the board minutes, I'm sure it
Well,
is. I mean,
We came up at one time and met with Roth
yeah,
and told him he'd like to do what Jeff liked to do, and I would like to put a couple of things there
hmm
just for family and friends to hang out and
right.
possibly stay if they get drunk or something, you know, so Roth mentioned at the time, he goes, well, the current environment up there, he said, you'd be better off doing what they did around the corner, just making it an RV park and do whatever you wanna do, you know, as far as sending a bunch of RVs. You know, well, we don't need that, we wanna do 2 or 3,
Yeah,
something like that, and wouldn't be on a permanent basis most of the time. So maybe that is where he may have made a,
it may have been what came across at the board meeting because, and I'm going back, this is probably a year ago, at least 7, 8 months, 9 months. Yeah, because I remember when it came up to the board, by the time it got to the board, it was going to be, you were gonna sink one of those round campers into the ground to make it look like an alien spaceship. And then it was gonna have your RVs were gonna be around it or something.
There-
That was what the board was told
By
About-
whom?
by our manager. So I mean, if
I
you're
was
wondering where that came from, that's where it came from because.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any difference.
No.
They're in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my intention.
yeah,
Any other comments, guys?
I make a motion that we approve the rezoning.
I do too. I second that motion. All in favor? All right, I don't want to see no bug-eyed guys down there.
Well, they're already there.
Other than what's already there. I went by today and waved at him as I went by. Okay, we got a public hearing to receive citizen comments on proposed rezoning of 0.656 acres property located 683 Hawk Lake Drive, and we can all read that parcel number. Scott Craig and Michelle, how do you pronounce that? Las applicants are requesting rezoning from C2 to R1. What do you say?
So this property, this home predates our existing zoning codes and regulations. Since it was built, it's always been maintained as a single-family residential home. Therefore, I don't believe it should have ever been classified underneath C2. There's no commercial business being ran out of it. That entire area of that Hawk Lake subdivision, the original design, in fact, was to be residential neighborhoods. This is, I believe, critical for us to approve, as it was an error on the city's behalf back in 2009 to even zone it as C2. So this is us remedying that miszoning.
So all three of these are
It's
the
all
same.
three of these.
The
Right next to
second,
them.
the second one is right next door to it also. It is a small residential lot that the tenant who is renting from Miss Loss right now had purchased. He's unsure, what home he's wanting to build on there, but also his belief when he bought the property was that it's a residential neighborhood, that it was R1 zoning. And the same with that third lot that was designed to be a residential lot. Uh, I'm not sure why the city planner gave that whole area a C2 back in '09, but it is our belief that that was a mistake and that it should have been an R1 zoning. And so we were trying to repair and remedy that on all three lots.
I got a pretty good idea, but I think, I guess we need to do them individually, so I'll make a motion that we, I'll make a motion that we rezone that from C2 to R1. Someone want a second?
Well, was there any citizen comments on it?
That question, like, not on you specifically, but my lot got rezoned as an A1 and it shouldn't have been of that size. What's the process in the city that it?
Yours didn't get rezoned.
No, mine stayed A1, but it shouldn't.
It stayed agricultural, but it wasn't rezoned. It was because, and the reason was that is you didn't request the rezoning.
I understand it, but it shouldn't have been an A1 because it doesn't meet that requirement for the city, right?
Correct. It should not have been approved it should not, the subdivision, in my opinion, should not have been approved without first requesting that rezoning.
Yeah, does that process happen a lot? Because it happened with your three lots too. Sounds like.
And that was 2009. I wasn't anywhere nearly involved with the city.
Just a question on that, like, it
Yeah.
seems like there's multiple.
Things evolve, over the years, so we're gonna find a lot of this kind of stuff, I imagine,
I
as
think
we
one of
move
the-
on.
that particular stuff, when I first got here, we were told, by previous administrations that that was going to become they're gonna move the highway to where it went right through Hawk Lake, remember? And they were gonna commercial zone it so it could be for a big box store.
There was rumor, and the previous city attorney would reference it every now and then, that
Yes.
they believed Highway 5 could go through there.
Yeah.
That area though, even back when the opportunity zone was created, the design of it was for residential homes, duplexes, R2 type stuff. But the original developers of that area went through and actually already ran all of the electrical underground and everything for residential homes.
Yeah.
So it really does support the residential R1 zoning.
Well, I make a motion that we, approve that.
Well, Dahlia, I made a motion, Gene seconded, so now we're voting.
Okay,
Okay. All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Now, that was for the Jeff Park one.
That was the
No,
loss.
that
That was
was
for the law.
number 8.
That was for the loss, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now we're gonna go with, Bryant Young.
Brian Young.
Public hearing to receive citizens' comments on proposed rezoning of 6.660 acres located on Hawk Lake Drive. Parcel number, we can all see it. Applicant Scott Craig and Bryant Young. Applicants are requesting rezoning from C2 to R1.
Again, this is a neighboring property. It butts up just to the west of the residential structure that's already there.
Any citizen comments on that lot? No? I make a motion that we approve. Anyone second that?
I'll second it.
All in favor? No?
No.
You motion.
I make a motion that we
Okay.
approve let me look at it.
Well, I can Brian you along.
I second the emotion.
Young.
Yeah, didn't I say yeah?
You.
Now, okay. All in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Now we got the Jones one. Public hearing to receive citizen comment on proposed rezoning of 0.66 acres located on Hawk Lane Drive, parcel number as seen. And Scott and Tommy Jones applicants. What say ye, Scott?
This is again the same thing, it's just to the west of the last property. Mr. Tommy Jones, not the Tommy Jones,
Oh,
purchased the property. It is his intent to build a single family residential structure on the property. However, he's unable to do so right now because it is zoned C2. And again, I feel like it was oversight of the city planner at that time.
any citizen comments on that lot?
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
When you spoke to him, you said he has plans to build a home there. Does he understand the procedure he has to go through to build that home?
Yeah, so he's talking about building permits and that he does need to get a building permit. Has asked me about temporary structures as far as holding building materials, and
Good.
he understands that any temporary structure he does put up has to be gone in 11 months.
Thank you. All right. I make a motion that we approve the Tommy Jones.
I'll second that emotion.
All in favor?
Emotion.
I
Aye.
Aye.
And any other city business? Yeah, I didn't see any.
Yes, I do have something.
You have something?
Yes, I wanted to see if the board would be okay with moving our meetings to the first Wednesday of the month instead of the first Monday. That way it's consistent with trustee meetings, and we don't have a situation like we have this week where we have 2 meetings in 1 week. Does anybody have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue with it. We do, the reason we're having 2 meetings is we're also having a Board of Adjustment meetings on Wednesday. So when we have a Board of Adjustment, it'll have to be a different day. But no, I have no problem with planning and zoning.
Wednesday on the.
Yeah, it'd be the first Wednesday of the month.
I don't have
instead of the
problem.
First Monday.
Scott, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so
Everything
from
else
now
is
on,
conflict
our
with the-
meetings will be at
5.
Still fine, just first Wednesday.
first Wednesday.
That way, all of our regular meetings are on Wednesdays. It's easier for everybody to keep track of it instead of asking which meeting is Monday, which one's Wednesday.
Okay.
This meeting, I typically would have tried to push on a Wednesday. However, due to me being out of state with the FBI conference last week and still getting within their 30-day window is important. We had to do it this week.
I make a motion to adjourn if there's no other
You
business.
can't.
No, I can't.
Do we need to do anything to change the meeting date? Do we need to?
Well, Dahlia is taking minutes, so do we want
You
to,
make motion.
make a motion that we
All right.
change the meetings to the first Wednesday?
Yes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You need a motion.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
Good, Jeremy?
Yep. There you go.